You may think social media doesn't pay the bills, so it's just an afterthought. But in fact, it could. It could pay the bills. In fact, there are plastic surgeon friends of mine, physical therapists, and fitness pros who got checks from YouTube so big during COVID that it kept them going when business was shut down. I mean, imagine, right? You're a plastic surgeon who depends on doing surgery and you couldn't do it. You couldn't see patients. And yet your YouTube channel checks coming in every month because advertisers were advertising on your channel, paid the bills. Think about that for a moment. Whether or not that's your model, YouTube can be a huge source of traffic, as can your Facebook or your Instagram be a huge source of organic traffic and a means of growing your email list. I grew a YouTube channel to almost 130K organically. Still today, 8 years after starting it, people that join my programs will tell me, I've been following you for a long time on YouTube. The social media tips that work here, I know because of my own, my colleagues, and my coaching clients' success with them. I'm Deborah Atkinson. You're listening to Fitness Marketing Mastery, where I share marketing and sales strategies that are easy, enjoyable, even fun, and let's say this, anything but sleazy, pushy, and salesy. So you can build the life and the business that you love and have freedom financially and time wise while you're doing it. And if you're looking for ways to make your social media work better or to stop throwing money at your social media manager, your VA, who supposedly is posting just so that you have a presence there, you could be hurting yourself as opposed to helping yourself. And I want you to think about this. If finding the right words are really not something that comes naturally to you, that you never know really what to post, and you're not telling that VA what to post, you've got to find a voice. I'm going to link to some resources in the show notes for writing copy, especially to marketing to women who are unique buyers all on their own. And if you're interested in growing your business and you seek to be the expert and the authority in working with midlife and beyond women, I'm going to put the link below to the open enrollment for the Flipping 50 Fitness Marketing. Well, Flipping 50, yes, fitness marketing. However, Flipping 50 Fitness Specialist, meaning menopause fitness specialist, and business mastermind for 2022. We're accepting applications right now, and you can learn more about it by attending a masterclass this Thursday. That'll be in the show notes. But listen, let's dive into this right now because social media is really serious business. It's easy to just throw things at social so you can check off that box. That's the kind of activity you'll use to prove, though, social media doesn't work. So, if you're using resources, meaning time, money, and energy, to be on social media, here are 10 social media tips that work for fitness and health professionals. Aside from the fact that video wins over everything else, I've got some social media tips that work. Social media requires strategy. What you post on Instagram doesn't go on Facebook. The same hashtags you use on Instagram to get found and discovered will potentially hurt your reach if you use them on Facebook. Did you know that? Blindly just being on a platform is a waste of time and resources. Here's a few tips to apply no matter what platform you're on to do better with engagement and success. You got to be measuring the right thing. That's an also given. Use the insights that are free on every platform. The value of saves, shares, and then comments and likes on Instagram should be very clear to you. Is your content something your ideal customer wants to share? Is it something they want to save to refer back to? Have you solved or are you starting to solve a problem so they want to keep coming back to you and your timeline? Those are questions to ask. And maybe not yourself. You might want to ask a little board of advisors of your best clients and customers. Find out, are they there? Okay, 10 social media tips that work. Here we go. Number one, focus on your purpose. Why are you posting today? What is the purpose of the post that you're trying to create? Are you trying to grow your email list? Are you trying to grow your social proof? Or are you trying to grow engagement? Or are you doing product and market research to find out what it is you should create next? You could be on social media and doing any of those things, but you should have probably a very different post for each of those. When you're trying to grow your email list, you're going to try to whet their appetite with some juicy tips and yet a tip of the iceberg piece of information. And for the rest of it, they want to go and opt in for your freebie. That is your strategy. If you want to grow social proof, then you may indeed simply want to grow engagement, interaction, and the number of people following you. You do that by posting content they love. They share it, they save it, they like it, and comment on it. And if you're trying to grow your engagement, which ultimately will end up growing your social proof in your email list, you're going to make sure you're asking questions. And you might also be posting more with um, a scrolling, several images where they have to scroll because then they're staying on your timeline longer. That increases your engagement because Instagram reads that as part of the algorithm. Oh, your audience is really engaging with you. They like you. They want your content. So they're going to show it to more people like the audience there. But did you realize that your engagement will be up to the people that you already have who like you when you make them scroll, but you will not be shown to more people. You won't get the benefit of both scrolling and of your hashtags to be discovered. Something to consider. Use each of those strategies in different posts. 4 is do product and market research. What do I mean by that? Well, here's what I mean is if you don't quite know what it is you want to create or sell yet, whether it's that you're going to create a course or you're going to create a workout series or you're going to create a coaching group or do it yourself something or other, you might want to do some product research about what topics, number one, you should do that on even before you choose what it is, what topics get the most reaction, engagement, and what topics get none, that I would stay away from. What do they like? So, can you poll them within your Instagram? Think of clever ways. In your stories, you actually have use of a poll. You can also bring that into your timeline in various ways. But think about how creatively you could be asking questions and doing market research to learn more about what you do want to do at some point. So, even if you're brand new, you're starting a business and you don't know, gosh, I don't know what I'm going to create yet. What if it's going to be one-on-one coaching or if I'm going to branch out so I have a bigger reach, I can scale my business and that still is elusive to you? That's maybe how you use your social media. But know your purpose. Any of those is a right answer, but know what's important to you. Number 2, if what you're doing is not working, that is not a message that the platform does not work. There are plenty of people making money from YouTube, whether it's because they're growing their email list organically, like me, or it's because, like my friend and plastic surgeon, he is both growing his awareness. He does some native ads for his own products, but he also gets a ton of advertisers because his demographic, his target market, has a lot of people who want to market to that group, and he's got a huge following, and they pay for time on his channel. So we know there's proof that it works, but you've got to ask yourself these questions. Are you really using a strategy, the right strategy for your platform, or do you just need more education? Is your audience on that platform? You know that you've got to do some research about the age and the demographic. So, the age and the gender and the activities and the things that they like. And not every 50-year-old is the same. Not every 30-year-old is the same. Some are more conservative, some are more active, some are really using social media sites, and others are not so much. So you've got to know your individual person. You don't work with everybody. Or if you do, that is a part of your problem. You're trying to throw too big a net, you're not actually able to talk to anybody. So if it's not working, remember, it's not the platform. It's potentially that's a message, feedback, data that you need to look a little deeper at what you're doing. Number 3, nothing will kill your organic engagement faster than posts that sell or attempt to. People are on social media not to shop, but to find out what their friends and their family are doing, to be entertained, or at the very least be edutained. So if you're going to try to educate them, then it should be somehow entertaining that you're doing it. I mean, why are reels so popular? Because, well, number one, some of them are just plain entertaining, but number two, there are a lot of people just dancing, playing music, and pointing to 5 tips, 3 tips, pointers. And we can absorb information like that in 15 or 30 seconds without being overwhelmed. And that alone may get you followers. But you've got to think about this. If you're just going on and you're posting, join our group. Group program starts on Monday. And that really is the gist of your post. You're going to miss every time, and you're really hurting any potential future growth of your channel, your timeline. So if you don't have a following, you'll never grow one sharing ad like content. So keep that in mind. You really need to be giving value. You want to grow that list so when you are ready to advertise paid traffic, you've got a bigger group to do it too. Number 4, people engage with people, not businesses. So if you're hiding behind a business name, every once in a while you have to step out and be the person. Now, a lot of people will do 2 things. So on Instagram, you may see a lot of people with 2 different accounts. One is business with their business name, and one is their name only. But a lot of business owners are at this point just going by their business name. Now, I've got Flipping 50, or I'm at Flipping 50 TV. That's my tagline on every social media channel. And I am the business. So I am the face and the spokesperson of the business, but you don't see me as Deborah Atkinson. That's my personal and private account for home and family is not all that private. But you've got to think about, are you the brand? If you are, and your business is your brand name, your literal name, you may want to ditch the business side. But even if you are using the business, like me, Flipping 50 TV, I show my image. I talk about me and my personal life. And that matters. People want to do business with people that they know or feel that they are like. The statement used to be people they know, like, and trust. There's truth to that, but really people need to feel like they are like you or want to be like you. So if they feel like you're nothing like them, they're 65 and you're 30, it's going to be a little hard for you to relate. Not that you can't, but you really better tap into values and find the similar values that you have to what they have. Talk to them, not at them. Okay. Number 5, represent your brand in a way that your audience feels like you, wants to be you, and respects you. This is a whole mouthful. I almost opened it up, right? So revealing who you are was the last one, but this one is deeper and goes a little bit further. So they want to like you, they want to be you potentially, but they need to respect you. They need to feel as if you are the guide So, again, if you're 30 and your target audience is 65, you like to work with older adults, you need to figure out how you establish yourself as the expert. How many 65 and 70-year-olds have you interviewed? How many have you worked with? What program have you done? What testimonials can you show? Where have you won awards for or recognition for being an expert to that audience? Because you can't accelerate your age. We wouldn't want that to happen. But you've got to figure out for the exact person that you want to establish that expertise with and for, what are you using to leverage it? Next, number 6 is raise and praise instead of teach and preach. And I talk about this one a lot. Those are trademark terms, literally. And it's all about sharing information in a way that makes people feel good, not judged. So you want to avoid saying don't and stop and no, like no more, blah, blah, blah. Because people need to not feel like they're making the wrong choice. That's not going to make them like pique their curiosity so they come closer. It's going to be like, oh, I'm going to look the other way. Like, I don't know who she's talking to. I'm not making that mistake. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't be that dumb, right? Because that's kind of how we make them feel. So we don't want to do that. But what we do want to do is get on the same side of the fence with them and let them feel like, listen, it's not your fault. In my TEDx talk, and 2 years ago, right now, I shared that I made this mistake too. And then I taught this mistake for 15 years as a university instructor. And so it's no wonder that they're still not getting results from the exercise they're doing. And I explained why. But I put myself in the same position. I made this mistake. 37, 35 years in the fitness industry. I made that mistake. Of course you would. Here's what we can do about it. So see how you can get on their side. You will still be the guide because you figured it out for yourself or for a lot of other people. And then you're now giving it to them as well. Number 7 is when you know what converts to your email list subscribers best, do that all day. I think sometimes there's this switch in our heads and we think, oh, I got to post on social media. I don't know what to post today. Well, your automatic post should be whatever it is that works for you. When you look at your Google and Analytics, no, please don't tell me that you don't look at your Google Analytics because that's like suicide. It's like business suicide. What are you doing? You're just pretending that you're running a business. You've got to track your statistics so you know why is traffic coming to your site? Where is it coming from? Is it coming from organic? Is it coming from direct links that you've put somewhere? Is it coming from social media? Is it coming from searches like on YouTube and Facebook and in Google? So you can learn what you're doing that is working. Even if it's accidentally at first, that's in fact a lot of times how it does happen. You're going to throw a lot of things on the wall. You're probably posting on Instagram and on Facebook and maybe on YouTube, I hope, but you don't know which one of those is working better. So your Google Analytics will tell you what's working better. You will learn where your email subscribers come from. Did they come from opting in for this freebie or that freebie? And then you can share pieces of that freebie on your social media site, putting images or putting quotes, putting a picture of you that's just beautiful, and then writing some of the quote from the freebie and saying, for the rest of it, here's where you can get it. And you link them to it so that when they click the link in your profile, they go directly to the exact page. Don't make them go to a website homepage and then make them search hundreds of pages for what it is you want them to get. I remember a fitness pro at one point who I had thought was fairly well known and would have been a better marketer than this. When I asked her for her URL where she wanted to send people, she just gave me the home page of her website. And I said, is there a specific page you want to send them to? She said, no, let's just have them land there and they'll figure out go where they need. I thought, oh my gosh, really? Because that's exactly wrong. People won't look at your website and then just go to the place where they can opt in. You want them to land on a page where that is all they focus on, because we've been talking about that very thing and now they want it so badly that they will go get it. And you don't want to give anybody any distractions, because in addition to the baby crying, the dog barking, the uh, fish jumping out of the fishbowl, the Amazon guy knocking at the door. There are all kinds of distractions in life, and somebody will get disrupted getting there anyway. Don't give them a website page where there's 47 different tabs they could possibly click on. Take them immediately to the thing that gets conversions. When you figure it out, don't be thinking that you need a whole different thing to do on social media. You should be doing the thing that works again and again and again. That's it. Don't do anything else until that stops working. And that makes your life a whole lot easier, right? All right. Number 8 is on Instagram, use a specific hashtag strategy. On Facebook, hashtags hurt you. When you put 1, it hurts by a very small percent. When you put 2, hurts by a little greater percent. When you put 4, you decrease your organic exposure by, and this is about a year or two ago, so don't quote me on this, but by about 70 to 80%. Yeah, you're not getting seen more, you're getting seen less. So that's really important for you to consider. Now I'm going to go minimally into what is a specific hashtag strategy on Instagram. Here's what you want to most be aware of. You may be an online coach. You may be a women's health and fitness coach. You may be a gym or studio. But if the post you put up has nothing to do with being an online coach, you haven't talked about being an online coach in the text, the copy of the post, you just confused Instagram so much that they will not use that tag and they will not give you any organic reach. They're just confused. So if you post something about it being a beautiful fall day and doing your strength training weight work with pumpkins today, focus on that. Pumpkins, fitness, fall, fitness fun, and go on and on. And this will make you realize how much the copy underneath your images matters. How much, if you do video, what you say in that video also is fair game for your hashtags. But anything that is outside of that, that is not congruent with the content in the image, the video, or the quote card that you might be using, or the copy that you've written, is hurting you. You wasted your time and energy, potentially a great post and message, if your hashtag strategy is not congruent with that. Here's the thing. If you have anybody doing your work for you, you better check it, right? So for instance, you give that to a virtual assistant and you have not trained that virtual assistant and they don't know anything about social media, potentially they're hurting you, not helping you. So very important that you take care of the details, and the buck always stops with you and I when it's our business, right? Number 9, less than 5% of your audience sees any post that you make. So stop thinking that reposting something that you put up, 3 weeks ago or four weeks ago, you can't use ever again. You can, and you should introduce yourself regularly to new people in your audience. You have to have more than a post and ghost strategy. So what I mean by that is that you want to not feel that you can't use content over again. You can. And let's face it, we do certain things with certain people and we do them over and over and over again. We better be wanting to talk about them for the rest of our lives, right? So there's always going to be feeling like we're a broken record because we say the same thing over and over. But realize there are millions of people who potentially see or don't see your posts who are doing 100 other things at the same time. Give that message again and again and again. Repeat it. Repeat yourself. People need to hear it not 7 times anymore, but they need to hear things like 37 times before they will act on it. So you want to know that, but you also can't post and ghost. You want to both, before you post, have a whole network of people that you like and follow that have the same audience as you, and go and like their content and comment on it. That's called priming your post. Before you post, you want to do all those things. Then post your own and make sure you share it to your timeline. Make sure you like it yourself, add a comment, and then continue to interact. So come back in 15 minutes, come back in an hour, come back in 2 hours, and comment. You're supposed to have a two-way conversation. If somebody makes a comment on your post, you need to comment back, and ideally do it with a question so that it continues the conversation. Number 10, and the last one, prime the post. So that's what I was just talking about, right? Prime it, engage with the post comments, and use all the places on a platform. So, as much as you can, if you're in Instagram, you're going to do this in Instagram and an Instagram story. But you can also, because these two talk together, you can also post it to your Facebook story. You can post it over on Facebook. I would never post both things because, again, if you're posting on Instagram with hashtags, you post that on Facebook, that hurts you. That doesn't help you. So you might post the comments or post the content, but do it slightly differently. But also, you can't just go and never talk to people, never internet with people or interact with people or network with them. You've got to play nicely with others. When do you post? When do you comment? When do you like? When do you interact with people? Find that happy balance because that also will help grow. Social media posts need words that work. I mean, the right words that you use in the copy on your post, not even just pictures on Instagram, is with every post, you have to be thinking about what you want your ideal client to think and to feel and to do after seeing it. And in order to do that, you have to know what your customer thinks and feels and does better than anyone else does. I know, for instance, that my fitness and health professionals feel frustrated that they aren't making as much traction as they want to. They're spending a lot of time doing what they do, but they aren't making a great living at doing it. They don't have the freedom financially or the time freedom that they want. They don't feel comfortable with the marketing and the sales or the business decisions that make them more than just busy, that make them a true business. I know many of my health and fitness coaches work with women in menopause, just like I do, and they don't understand why they can't get their own weight and belly issues resolved, let alone their clients. In fact, some of my Flipping 50 mastermind members are fitness clients themselves first. So, with all that information about my audience, knowing them that well, when I post to social media for them, or when I do a podcast, for instance, I know what will resonate with them because I know the pain points. I know both what they already feel and I know how I want them to feel. I want them to feel optimistic, that there are answers, and that I cracked that code 9 years ago so that they can benefit right now. I'm going to link you to resources that I mentioned in the show, the copywriting course for marketing to women. You'll get a special link to a page where you can get it for a special rate right now as a listener. And I'm going to also link to the masterclass coming up this week. If you want to get 3 mistakes in training women in menopause or 3 mistakes in marketing to women in menopause or both for the bundle of all 6. It'll all be on the masterclass on Thursday. Hope to see you there. And what are you waiting for? Social media does work. It just may be that your strategy needs a rework, and the world needs you and a positive message right now more than ever.